Is WPEK W225CJ Fairview, WMFX Waynesville, an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Live from the Ingles studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire the cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. Your thoughts on all things NFL today. We're fixing the NFL's top 100 players list.
They boo-booed it real bad, so we fixed it.
Yep. They screwed it up. We're fixing it. It's a Power Rankings Tuesday. We'll have the top 100 for you on today's program, as well as the latest news from around the NFL. And we welcome everybody into the program here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And, hey, Jeremy, Brandon AIYUK, back in the news again. Who's shocked?
Well, I mean, and it's perfect timing because the number 100 player on my top 100 list is Brandon AIYUK. You do realize that he's not as good as you're making him out to be, right? And I don't just mean you, I mean everybody on the whole.
Is he not, though? Last year, I felt like that was a pretty special year for him.
Okay, so he had one good year. In the prove it, I have to get paid year. Then he's done nothing but whine all off season long about not getting paid by a team who knows him better than anybody that has made it perfectly clear they have no intention of paying him. How many red flags you need before you go, I should probably go home by myself because this is a bad idea?
What's the bad idea? The bad idea is Brandon AIYUK thinking he needs $30 million a year?
The fact that Brandon AIYUK ever even said that out loud is comical to me. The fact that the entire league on the whole didn't immediately laugh at him is comical to me. And now we're here. And guess what? Weird. What two teams, this prodigious, fantastic, true number one receiver. He's my 20, just to be clear. I'm sure there must be 20 teams lined up to go get him, right? Oh, the New England Patriots and the Cleveland Browns. Mm-hmm. One who's desperate, one who has a receiver with a contract that they would really like to get out from underneath. What does that tell you? New England's number. Do you know the three starting receivers for the New England Patriots right now? Their first depth chart just came out.
I feel like we've done this before.
We have, but it's not the same three it was.
Is Kendrick Bourne.
Kendrick Bourne is not one of them.
Jalen Polk.
Jalen Polk is one of them.
And Demario Douglas.
Pop Douglas, Jalen Polk, and Javon Baker are their three starting wide receivers.
Wait, what happened to Kendrick Bourne?
Kendrick Bourne's still on the roster, but he's hurt.
Okay.
It's just, who's shocked? New England, who has no receivers they can count on, is interested. Nobody else is. Cleveland is interested if you will take the albatross that is the $22-something million of dead money they owe Amari Cooper next year. Then we'll talk about giving a receiver that is 4 years younger and practically the same guy $30 million a year.
The problem you have is, yes, the price is very high. And the other problem is San Francisco has full control here.
Do they?
They would.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they do.
When you say full control, elaborate on full control.
That they don't have to trade him. They don't really have to do anything.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Oh, really?
Do you realize how cantankerous this will get? Do you realize, how cantankerous Brandon Ayuk will get? Mm-hmm. It should tell you everything you need to know that 1 week into camp, they're going, you know what? We changed our minds. We're tired of him already.
They don't have to, on paper, do anything with him. And they get to, pick and choose what they could get in return. I would imagine there are some teams out there. You and I talked about this before the show started, of who are the teams out there that would need a wide receiver. And you came up with a list of about 15 teams that could use a wide receiver. The Jets were included in that. Who else was included? Washington. Just a bevy of teams. The problem becomes when you have to check all of the boxes of what to give up and the fact that you're going to have to pay him. It doesn't surprise me that scares off teams. Cleveland would gladly do it if they can upgrade to a younger wide receiver, correct?
You're burying the lead there, but I won't say you're incorrect. You're just phrasing that in a way that's very disingenuous.
Why? Because I didn't mention that they want to get out from under the contract?
Because that's why they would do it. If Amari Cooper's deal ended if it ended at the end of 2024, this would not be a discussion. They kicked $22 million of dead money down the road for 4 years. Oh, by the way, and you have a quarterback that's an absolute albatross of a deal. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have a 31, 32, 33, and 34-year-old receiver that you're getting absolutely nothing out of that's hanging out on that cap. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the headline there. Not necessarily that Brandon Ayuk's an improvement over Amari Cooper. He's 4 years younger. I don't necessarily think he's all that much better. And I don't think Cleveland views him as all that much better. I've heard what that offer is. It's Amari Cooper and a 5. Okay, that tells me you don't really want to do this. Mm-hmm. You'll do it if they'll accept 75 cents on the dollar for you to then take on the headache, which is the contract. But are they jumping up and down about Brandon Ayuk? No.
So wherever he goes, it could be done any moment. We could have breaking news by the end of this program that Brandon Ayuk has been traded somewhere. As he said, Cleveland Browns, New England Patriots, those are the two teams that are rumored right now to be calling and in the sweepstakes to get Brandon Ayuk. It does kind of, in a way, it does kind of shock me that no one else is in this right now.
Why would I be?
Maybe these are the only two that can check all of the boxes.
Why would I be in? I have a receiver that's had 1 year that wants to be paid like a top 5 receiver in the NFL. Why in the world would I be in on that? Mm-hmm. So I have to pay on top of the industry money to a top 20-ish receiver, and I have to give you draft pick compensation, or you have peed in your bed, and now I can make you sleep in it. And that strike you as strange that both teams that are in on this are in the AFC? That not rattle any form of cage with you whatsoever that no NFC team is interested in Brandon Ayuk?
No.
Oh, I can diminish a rival and quote-unquote get better, and no NFC team wants to do that. It's not San Francisco doesn't want to deal with them. They have no offer from teams in the NFC. Mm-hmm. Because most of these teams are looking at you going, you know what? That's a headache. You're not as good as you think you are. That roster is diminished every single year. And now you add this headache on top of what are you going to do with Brock Purdy, which is going to be a story all year long, on top of the health of Deebo Samuel, on top of the health of Christian McCaffrey, on top of how thin your roster is. Maybe we just let you sit in your poop pants.
They're definitely in it. Somebody is one way or the other.
I think the compensation on this deal will surprise you because I do think this gets done today, and I think it's to New England.
Okay.
They're the team that's been in from the jump.
And where do you think that compensation is going to sit?
If it's just draft picks, a third-round pick, maybe. Maybe. If you give up a player, which there's a great possibility that they would, now you're getting into that 4 or 5 range.
Mm-hmm.
Because would I be shocked if they gave up Kendrick Bourne in this deal? Nope. Not shocked that Amari Cooper's name has been attached to this because San Francisco. Let's go one step further here. This is a team that's now willing to listen to offers on their quote unquote number one receiver. You look at that depth chart outside of him. Outside of Deebo Samuel, is there even a living, breathing NFL receiver on that roster?
No. Maybe Johnson.
Juwan Jennings?
Or Jennings, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Him and Ricky Pearsall is your 2 and 3. Woohoo! Let the good times roll!
No, it's not great because pretty soon they become your 1 and 2.
Oh, I know what you were doing. You were confusing the Jawans.
I was.
Juwan Johnson's a tight end for the Saints.
Yes. I confuse those two often in my brain.
You made me second guess that I actually knew his name.
No, because these guys become your 1 and 2 eventually because you know Debo's not going to be there for the full season. That's terrifying. If you give up Brandon AIYUK, then you have a choice of either making Brandon AIYUK happy, which you're clearly not going to do. I mean, you can let him sit, but why would you do that when you could get something back? If the Cleveland Browns are in and giving Amari Cooper in a 5, I'm in.
Even if you have to take all that money.
I don't care. That still gives me the ability to contend now.
You should care. It always drives me nuts when you say that. If I don't care about the money, you absolutely should. Especially if you're the 49ers, which is, I mean, my opinions on Brandon AIYUK notwithstanding, the money is at least 40% of why we're here. Mm-hmm. Because they're looking down the road going, well, if we pay you, we're going to have to not pay somebody else. Do you know how much cap space the 49ers have next year? By the way, that's before they pay Brock Purdy.
How much?
They're $40 million over the cap. Over it.
Yep.
They have at least 10 guys making double-digit millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And you can't really win at a high level without, I mean, I give you Malik Collins and Leonard Floyd. They're the two least of your problems. It's a bad situation for San Francisco. You painted yourself in this corner, and don't be shocked when other teams are sitting around going, we'll help you, but it's going to hurt. Mm-hmm. No Smile said he's hearing a 2 and Bourne for AIYUK out of New England. I've heard that's what San Francisco wants. If New England gives that, they're out of their minds. Because you don't have to. You don't have any competition here. The Amari Cooper thing, it sounds good. Do you remember what he got when Dallas traded him to Cleveland?
The compensation in that deal? It was a first, wasn't it?
It was a 5th-round pick.
That was a 5th round.
It was a 5th-round pick, and that was 2 years ago.
They traded a first to get him.
Dallas traded a first to get him 6 or 7 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, now he's a 30-year-old receiver.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good spot. It's not a good spot.
No, it's not a good spot.
You know what else isn't a good spot?
What's that?
It comes from our first super chat of the day from our buddy Soaring Eagle.
Yeah!
You know what's even worse than Brandon AIYUK's situation? Bo Nix being behind the MILF hunter on the depth chart in Denver. Zach Wilson's actively the 2, Jared Stidham the 1 on the first depth chart.
Yeah.
Now, this is a good time to explain. Everybody's putting out their depth charts because you have to ahead of the first preseason games. Mm-hmm. They mean less than squat. Now, I mean, there are certain things you can glean. It means a lot to me that Jaden Daniels is the one in Washington already. It means very little to me that Bo Nix is the 3 in Denver.
He won't stay there. I can't imagine that he'll stay there behind Zach Wilson. When I see stuff like this, I think this is the earn your spot kid thing. I'm not going to bring you in here and make you the 1 or make you the 2. It seems very Sean Payton-y to me.
It shocked me when I saw Zach Wilson was the 2.
Right, you're going to be 3 on the first depth chart. And then we're going to create some buzz because we're going to move you up in 2 weeks, and then we'll have the storyline of the quarterback battle going into training camp.
It shocked me when I saw Zach Wilson was the 2 for one very specific reason. While we were at the Combine, we made some friends from Denver. I have stayed in touch with those friends from Denver, and they had basically asked me on more than one occasion, how the hell did you start this guy for more than 15 seconds? He is terrible. To which I laughed and went, yeah, thanks for that draft pick, by the way. That was awful nice of you. Enjoy John Franklin Myers, because that was us feeling guilty that you gave us anything. Wilson.
Bo Nix listed as the 3rd string quarterback for the Denver Broncos. We're also getting some news about who will play this week, who will not play this week in the preseason. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll recap that news for you here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400.
ESPN Asheville, we're broadcasting live.
And we're clear.
Park Highway. It is the Ingalls Tools for Schools. Would love to see you come on by and make a donation. We're going to be out here until 7 o'clock tonight collecting all kinds of school supplies like the backpacks, paper, glue sticks, index cards, pencils, scissors, you name it, we will take it. Also, a cash donation is appreciated as well. And Kellogg's, one of our great sponsors this year, they're out here. And Tony the Tiger is live in person till 1 o'clock. We'd love to see you. Come on by, say hello, take a picture with Tony. Ingalls Tools for Schools, Smoky Park Highway.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever!
Hey, if you're listening to me right now, I have one thing every business needs most: attention. Think about it. We swipe and scroll past stuff all day, but when we're driving, cooking, working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Call 844-ADD-HELP-5. That's 844-ADD-HELP-5.
We need your help to protect your right to AM radio in your car. AM is always there in times of need with the key information for our community. The overwhelming majority of legislators support a bill to keep AM radio in cars, but time is running out. Please text the 2 letters AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to the floor for a vote now. Text AM to 52886.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month. Text stop to stop. A message from the station.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25%.
You want to do the just miss list here?
For more information, contact us today at 828-774-343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville.
Is this the last commercial?
Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Yep.
parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
The Sportsocracy is back on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Of course, you can see us everywhere on the YouTube. Just go to the sportsocracy.com, click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. We did have some news about who's going to play this week, who's not. Dave Canales apparently just announced a little while ago that Bryce Young will not be playing in the preseason game on Thursday, and chances don't look good that he's going to play at all this preseason, from what I understand. Good move.
Oh, shoot.
Would you trot him out there at all?
No.
No?
I wouldn't, but look, you're talking to the wrong guy asking me that question. In the preseason, I would be playing the janitorial staff, so I'm not the one to ask.
You're not a live reps matter kind of a coach?
Not really, no.
Okay. All right.
Not really, no.
Jaden.
I mean, certain young guys, I get trotting out Jaden Daniels, which I think was the next thing you were getting ready to say.
That is.
I get getting a rookie some live reps, but, for me, in the first game, you're going to get a series. The second game, you're going to get 2, and then – actually, no, we do that backwards now. So in the second game, you'll get about a quarter, and then you'll get a series or 2 in the final game, and I'm done.
Mm-hmm. Jaden Daniels will play on Saturday. Also, Jared Garf not going to play for the Detroit Lions. That was Dan Campbell's statement today. He will not be playing in the preseason opener for them either on Thursday against the New York Football Giants. Probably because he's afraid of Daniel Jones, really. Daniel Jones starting fights at camp. Did you see that?
Daniel Jones been out here like Floyd Mayweather at Lions Giants joint camp.
Right. The NFL Top 100 came out last week. We finally had a chance to digest all of it. We made fun of it yesterday, and so today we're going to fix it on this Power Rankings Tuesday. NFL Top 100 Sportsocracy / Flostradamus style. First up, who did not make the Top 100?
The first player out was Steelers linebacker Patrick Queen.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like it took you aback.
It's just going through this exercise myself. I guess I never really realized how hard it is.
Oh, it's not easy.
It
took me 2 full
guys
days.
in 2 full days.
Oh, I said it yesterday. I started this as soon as the show was over. I did it until about 2 o'clock this morning. I got up at 8, started in on it again, and we finished maybe 11:30.
Mm-hmm. Patrick Queen, when I hear the name, I think, that guy's got to be a top 100 player. But alas, he didn't make my top 100 either.
As you look at the list, it's hard to figure out exactly who would you take off.
Mm-hmm.
And by comparison, I don't have a linebacker that I would take Patrick Queen over, and that was a lot of how I did this. The highest ranked players on my list are guys that are just clearly the best at their position. The meaty clackers in the middle is you may not be the best at your position, but you're really, really good, and you would be practically impossible to replace with anybody that's not one of those high-end studs. And then you get the remainder of the stars in the, I'll say from 65 down.
Okay. Who else didn't make it?
Only had what? So basically, the way I did this is I went position by position. I took our top 13s. I put them all in there. I eliminated anybody that I knew wasn't going to make it. I wouldn't allow myself to have more than 20 players at any position, which was much harder at edge rusher and wide receiver than you would think. And I filled the list from there. The only other linebacker that didn't make it was C.J. Mosley. He would have been in the first 10. Defensive tackle, I had 3. Jonathan Allen, Christian Barmore, and Kenny Clark.
Whoa.
Oh.
I love Kenny Clark so much.
Okay. I mean, if you have an objection, you tell me.
Jonathan Allen, yeah, I mean, he's the top of that list that I go, is Jalen Carter at this point in his career better than Jonathan Allen?
I believe he is. It's very close. And I will tell you this: if it was close, young guy got the advantage.
Okay.
You asked me the criteria, fair. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really. It's not that I didn't think about criteria. I just figured out as I went through the list, I had some preconceived biases, and that was one of them. Mm-hmm. If you're 30, there's a guy that's 23 that you're neck and neck with. Ty's going to go to the younger guy.
Okay. Jonathan Allen and Kenny Clark are two names that I had in my top 100. Jalen Carter was not.
And
so maybe
I have one of those guys, and it's not the ones that you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Cornerback, I only had one name. It was Deron Bland. He made it at 31 or something insane like that. 10 Titans 96 in our YouTube comment said Bland being in the top 100 is the biggest joke. He's supposedly better than Johnson, McDuffie, Snead, and both Wards. What a joke. Well, 10 Titans, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. You're going to like my list because every name you just said except one's in it, and Deron Bland is not. So apparently he and I are on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, the only other
players.
Go ahead.
I was going to say players like interceptions too. Players like the flashy plays too. They see a guy go out there and get 7 interceptions in a season and then go, oh, yeah, he's a dog.
The only other 2 defensive players that were on my initial, we'll call it the watch list, that didn't make it, Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick.
Mm-hmm.
And neither one of those 2, they would have both been pretty close, but neither one actually made it.
Yes. I have no qualms there either because they didn't make my top 100 either.
I'm shocked you didn't have a qualm with Brian Burns, but good for you.
I tried to, but as I went through the process, I was in order to have him on the list, I would have obviously had to have taken off other guys that I think are just better or more, as you said, unreplaceable than Brian Burns. Just because you don't make the top 100 doesn't mean that you're a bad player.
No.
It is really hard to get everybody in the top 100 that you want to be in there. If you're a true football fan and you really appreciate the players, 100 that's a tight group.
Oh, no doubt. So that would be all of the defensive players that didn't make it. The linemen, in terms of offensive linemen, I cut that list down pretty fine, and every one of my linemen made it. I did have a few pass catchers that didn't make it. We'll start at tight end. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts has done nothing on a field that would merit him being in the top 100.
Nope.
But damn, that talent's there. It's there, and the year you miss on it, it's just like fantasy football. The year you miss on him will be the year that you go, there it was. There, now he's top 3 tight end in the league.
I have a prediction he'll be on this list next year.
I want to agree with you. I really do. I'm not ready to do it yet.
I mean, I don't believe that. I don't believe that this is going to end up being a massive thing with the quarterbacks in Atlanta. We talked about it yesterday, and the more I thought about it, I know that I may be giving them a lot of leeway here, like a lot of benefit of the doubt. It was dumb to make the pick in the first place, but it's even dumber to play like this is a competition or a discussion. And I feel like at some point they're going to have to realize that.
Oh, I don't think they're the problem here.
My $40 million quarterback.
I don't think they're the problem here. The problem is the fan base. I've always said you're the least dramatic person I think I've ever met in my life. So I've always thought you kind of undervalue drama because you don't play into it.
Right. I don't.
And this is one of those times that it could be a big old problem.
Yeah. It very well could.
The other tight end that didn't make it was Dalton Kincaid. I wanted him on this list. I just couldn't find a way. I could not find a way. And then I had 4 wide receivers, Rashee Rice, Tank Dell, Christian Kirk, Marvin Harrison Jr. And yes, I do see the irony, I won't say the irony, I can understand how somebody would gristle at one of my just missed guys hasn't played a down in the NFL. I do understand how that would bother you. I think he's that good.
It is kind of crazy to think of putting rookies on the top 100 list. The fact that he's even in consideration, I think, should be a statement of the possibilities here with Marvin Harrison Jr.
I could see a path that Marvin Harrison Jr. is in the top 15 of this list next year.
Wow.
He's the only player that I can say that about. And I will tell you, there's a lot of guys that were rookies last year that did make the list. Some that might surprise you.
And you're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Those are the guys who just missed the list. We'll start the countdown, top 100 Sportsocracy style. Coming up after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on
And we're clear.
All right, running.
We got a super chat coming back too.
Debbie, mostly to the east of us, of course. If the track changes or moves a little bit further toward the west, we could see more wet weather. So expect some changes to the forecast. But for now, hit and miss showers, thunderstorms this afternoon, 85. Tonight, mainly cloudy, down into the upper 60s. Tomorrow, some hit and miss storms once again. Otherwise, sunshine and clouds up near 90 degrees. A few showers and thunderstorms on Thursday, 85. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Apple Tree Superstore.
Hurry in now to Apple Tree Superstore for deals on the full lineup of 2024 Hondas, including the CR-V, the HR-V, and Civic. Apple Tree Superstore is committed to offering you professional service and a great experience. Shop online at appletreesuperstore.com and in person, I-26 and Airport Road, Asheville.
iHeartRadio Olympics Update.
Team USA is aiming to continue adding medals at the track venue. Last night, Valerie Ullman stood at the top of the podium, winning gold in the women's discus throw for a second consecutive Olympics.
It was so special to achieve that, and the journey to achieving a goal is never the same when you try to do it again.
Among the medal events today, the women's 200 meters, all 3 Americans, headlined by Gabby Thomas, have advanced to the finals.
For NBC's live coverage from Paris, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
Win your way to our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One. September 20th and 21st.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Keep listening for your next chance to be there.
Hey, pool season fanatics, your summer persona is calling. It's time for sun-soaked party scenes at MGM Grand, new luxury cabanas at Bellagio, and sandy beach living at Mandalay Bay. Show off your poolside, only with MGM Rewards. Visit MGMRewards.com for details.
Bojangles just launched WWE Collectible Cup. For a limited time, order the WWE Sandwich Combo and pair your favorite sandwich and choice of fixin' with one of 4 epic WWE Collectible Cups. Order now and collect all 4 WWE Cups. It's Bo time.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
now you look like a pro.
Are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food.
Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is ESPN Asheville. Time to get just a bit outside. And, well, sometimes, you make the headlines for all the wrong reasons. And the Chicago White Sox are making the headlines for all the wrong reasons. In fact, 21 of them. They are god-awful at this whole baseball thing. 21 consecutive losses last night. They tied the American League record for a losing streak. 21 losses in a row. They tied the 1988 Baltimore Orioles. They only have 2 more losses to go until they hit the modern Major League record of 23 games set back in 1961 by the Philadelphia Phillies. It's not just a bad stretch, though. The entire season has been so horrible for the Chicago White Sox that they are now on pace for the worst winning percentage of any team since the 1819 Cleveland Spiders, who were the worst team ever that existed. They lost 134 of their 150-something games back in 1899. Chicago White Sox, they've seen better days. We'll just put it that way.
Florida International University has put itself on the map as the first school to ever do a thing. They're the first school whose stadium has sold its naming rights to a singer.
Really?
Yep. Pitbull has bought the naming rights to Florida International Stadium. It will be given the name Pitbull Stadium. It's currently FIU Stadium. How much do you think Pitbull paid for the naming rights to the football stadium at Florida International University?
I'll say $1.3 million.
For how long? Is that per year? Is that
no? That's
total?
A 3-year deal. That's a 3-year deal for $3 million.
Well, you were close. It's $1.2 million per year for 5 years. So he paid $6 million for 5 years.
Wow, I didn't think that it would be $1 million a year to put your name on that stadium.
I just think he really missed an opportunity here to call this place Mr. 305 Stadium. I mean, that could have been sweet, especially with those alternate uniforms they have.
I don't think I'm familiar with the Florida International uniform.
Yeah, I showed them to you last year, the Miami Vice ones that you didn't hate.
Oh, okay.
With the 305 with the Panther and the 0.
Yeah, I think I remember that now. Okay. It's kind of shocking to me.
Their first game will be hosting Central Michigan on September 7th. Oof.
Pitbull Stadium.
I mean, it's in Miami. Pitbull's from Miami. I get it. I mean, I'm looking at the list of schools that are coming in, and I'm not necessarily sure you're going to get $1.2 million worth of money out of that. But Central Michigan, Monmouth, Louisiana Tech, Sam Houston, New Mexico State, and Middle Tennessee State.
Yeah. I'm not sure you're drawing crowds with that.
I mean, now if Pitbull does a concert at the 50-yard line at halftime, maybe.
Which he probably, maybe he will. Maybe he'll perform at the opener or something to that effect.
Maybe.
Never know.
Before we went, or right as we went to commercial break, we had another super chat. Yeah. It's from Soaring Eagle. He's going back to the Brandon AIYUK thing, and your comment about Ricky Pearsall and Jawan Jennings. That's a recipe for CMC to get absolutely dissected because neither one of those two dudes can block.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not wrong.
That's one thing Brandon AIYUK has been lauded for is his blocking ability.
Well, and I'll tell you as a fan of a team that the disciples that wound up on the coaching staff that were Kyle Shanahan, guys that can't block tend to get really buried on these depth charts. So, and I guess that's even more confirmation for me. This Brandon AIYUK thing is untenable. They've tried their best to make it work, and if they could make it work, they already would have. But they know they can't. So now it's a question, for me, it's a question of when, not if.
Mm-hmm. Brandon AIYUK comes in as the number 100 player on the Sportsocracy Top 100 this Power Rankings Tuesday. He could, again, as he said, be traded at any moment from the San Francisco 49ers. Who's at 99?
The bottom of this list was really hard. And look, you're going to see names that you go, how is that guy that low? Well, he just is. It's Derrick Henry.
It feels really low to have Derrick Henry down here.
Now, does it make it feel any less low when I tell you that grand total I had 8 running backs on this whole list?
Not really, because it's a name. Right, from a fan standpoint, you think King Henry, he's a monster. Yeah, he is. There's no doubt about it. Going to the Baltimore Ravens, I think, is going to be very nice for them and him. But I'm not sure what I'm still not sure how much gas is left in that tank.
And look, I think he went to the perfect spot. I do think Derrick Henry's a Terminator, and there's still a little bit of gas there. I don't know that it's more than a year.
Mm-hmm.
But for a year in that system, I won't be shocked if he's really, really good, honestly.
Yeah.
I also think he's going to get about 40% of the workload of what he's used to, which can do nothing but help.
Mm-hmm. He is the final, obviously, running back on the list at number 99. Just looking at your list. Nick Chubb's not on this list?
Nick Chubb may or may not be able to walk, so yeah, I didn't put Nick Chubb on this list.
Oh, he can definitely walk. Have you not been watching?
I've seen it.
Videos?
I also saw that the last time that he did this. So
precisely, which means he's a Terminator.
Yeah, and everybody is until they're not.
Until they're not.
So no, not only was he not on this list, I didn't even consider him for this list.
Wow,
it's too much injury. The fact that you did more blows my mind. You've got
absolutely.
2 complete knee reconstructions. Name me a running back that ever came back from that.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember I about said Marshawn Lattimore. Do you remember Marcus Lattimore?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he still can't walk right. So that wasn't that long ago.
I remember.
He would have been somewhere probably in the 150s
Nick's already
for me.
had one since then. I was going to say, Nick's already had 2 since then. Since Lattimore.
I'm aware. It was the second one that took him down. He came back from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were the same injury. So, yeah, I didn't even vaguely consider Nick Chubb.
Interesting. All right, at number 98,
Rashawn Slater. I'm dumbfounded he wasn't on the NFL's list anywhere. That's dumb time to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's complete dumb time, and I don't understand it. Did you have him on your list?
I did not have him on my list. He would have been just outside. I mean, he would have been, if we'd have gone to 150, he probably would have made the list.
I think he is going to be an absolute horse this year.
Mm-hmm.
With Joe Alt on the other side, I like the line for the Chargers. It's the targets that I'm not exactly in love with.
Right. Definitely deserving, and I did not go as deep on offensive tackles on my list as you went on yours.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
My list cut off at Tunsil, I think. I had 6 tackles, something like that, on my list. I don't do spreadsheets as well as you do, so I don't have the position breakdowns as
I have full position breakdowns, team breakdowns.
He's broken this down beautifully. I don't do spreadsheets all that well. Rashawn Slater at 98. 97 is Bradley Chubb coming off the injury.
I almost left him off, and I almost replaced him with Hassan Reddick. And maybe I'm being a little biased because he's sitting out with the Jets right now, but I couldn't bring myself to hit the button. I think Bradley Chubb's a better player.
Okay.
Now, I am a little scared about the injury. I'm scared about the injury with Jalen Phillips, but in terms of just sheer talent, he belongs on this list. I can't remember how high he was on the NFL list. It was high to me, but the more I thought about it, I didn't hate it. Mm-hmm. There were certain guys, there's a name that's coming up real soon that people are not going to like where I put him. I would have objected more to that than to how high Chubb was. He's really good. I don't know that he's ever going to be great, and I really don't know if he can be great without somebody on the other side. But that still merits being in this general vicinity.
Right. Word is that he'll be back, might miss a couple of weeks of the preseason or of the regular season?
That was what I heard. They don't believe they will have to start him on PUP.
Mm-hmm.
But even if they do, that's just 6 weeks.
Yes. Still a good sign in the recovery, though. Have they extended that out to 6 weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just what it's been.
Oh, it's the IR is the one that
IR is 4 weeks, but if you start the season on PUP, you can't come back until week 7.
Right. Okay. Number 96.
Tyler Linderbaum.
Big man in the middle of the offensive line for the Baltimore Ravens.
I feel like he's a victim of his own hype. That he's been very good, and he's been exactly what we thought he would be. He just hasn't been the all-pro center. Mm-hmm. And when you come in as one of the most ballyhooed center prospects of all time, I think that puts an unhealthy expectation on you. But, I mean, for a guy that his arms were too short, he was too short, he's just come in and been an absolute rock for the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm-hmm. Number 95.
Chris Olave.
How do you think that's going to fare this year with Derek Carr in New Orleans? Chris Olave has done enough to prove that he is an elite wide receiver in this league. Is he going to make the quarterback any better this year?
Well, I don't think New Orleans is in as bad a shape as everybody else does, because I do think Clint Kubiak will go a long way to helping the offense. The question is, can they overcome the curse that is Dennis Allen? And I don't know the answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it will be better. And Chris Olave is one of the big reasons why. Rashid Shaheed's a big reason why.
Absolutely.
They have a young kid out of Yale whose name is currently eluding me. That, I think there's a chance he makes the roster. I mean, you know me, I'm going to be beating the drum for A.T. Perry. It does make me nervous when Dennis Allen says, I'm waiting for him to jump off the tape at me. Uh-oh. That's not good. You don't ever like hearing a guy get called out by name like that.
Right.
I'm trying to remember that other kid's name. That's going to drive me insane. Mason Tipton. He's been really, really, really good.
So he'll be the next no-name Saints receiver that
he could be
come to know.
I thought that was going to be Bub Means, but
everywhere.
apparently Mason Tipton's been the guy so far.
I feel like New Orleans churns those out like nobody else.
They do a pretty good job of it. I mean, Rashid Shaheed is one of those guys.
No doubt.
He was an afterthought.
Last year, he started out last year like 4 catches for 4 touchdowns or something to start out his season, and it was everything you wanted it to be.
No doubt.
The down the field threat.
And now I think having 2 down the field threats like that with a couple bigger bodied receivers, I think New Orleans has all the talent, and one of the reasons is because you did hit on Chris Olave.
Yep.
It's not as good as his teammate at Ohio State, who we won't hear for a little bit, but still really good.
Number 94,
Taylor Decker.
I don't really have much to say about Taylor Decker. He's really good.
Yep.
He was one of those I looked at and went, is he really a top 100 player?
Why would he not be?
I don't know.
He's starting left tackle on the best offensive line in the league. He's been really, really good for a really, really long time.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Maybe that's why. It's just not a – when I think that offensive line, I think Penei Sewell first.
Of course you do. Penei Sewell's way further up this list.
Oh, sure he is. I think Frank Ragnow first.
Frank Ragnow is also on this list.
Yes, I don't necessarily. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to take shots here. I'm just saying he's kind of the guy that gets left out of the shuffle in my mind.
And to me, that's an error in judgment. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to look at the best offensive line in football and say, well, it's all the center and the right tackle. Left tackle's got a pretty good amount to do with it, too. And he's been doing it for a long time, and he did it when none of these guys were here.
Right. Number 93.
Justin Madubuike. He's a hard eval for me because I don't know exactly what he is. I'm always afraid with the guy that has the best year of their career going into the year they get paid. Does that come back to the mean? But even if it does, I mean, his last year would have justified being drastically higher than where I have him slotted here. I kind of split the difference because the first 3 years, you would have been insane if you even mentioned him. Mm-hmm. But, man, Baltimore has a weird ability to do that, where they take a guy in the 3rd round. They took him in 2020. He's 26. He'll be 27 right around Thanksgiving. And Baltimore just does that. They have a guy that they send out to pasture. Next thing you know, you got a defensive tackle that just slides right in. They've developed him in the system. He really fits in the system. If he wasn't in Baltimore, I probably would have left him off this list. Mm-hmm. But I do have a blind faith in Baltimore that they don't tend to overpay guys that aren't every bit of what they were advertised to be.
Yep. Get a big name on the list here at 92.
Jalen Ramsey.
Is he fallen off that much?
He was awful at the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with Jalen Ramsey is at this point he's way more name than he actually is player. When you first saw the list, that was one of the names that jumped off at you because I didn't have him on the list originally. Mm-hmm. You got me to reconsider that okay, maybe I have gone too far. And the article that you found was that, well, if he had played enough snaps, he would be the best covered corner in the league in week 12. Well, he didn't come back till week 8. So he played 3 games. One of them was against the Patriots. One of them was against the Raiders. He had 3 interceptions in those 2 games. He never touched a ball after that. Mm-hmm. Didn't defend a pass, didn't break up a pass, didn't do anything. He was a liability.
It was a great start against some crappy teams.
Jalen Ramsey, to me, is going to have a career trajectory a lot like Charles Woodson did. He was so locked down that we hold him against himself until he eventually has to move to safety, and then he has a whole second career playing safety. Mm-hmm. I wrote that in his eval when he came out of Florida State, that's how that was going to go. Because he's always been better in zone. And that's my fear, is that now I feel like he's kind of been unmasked in zone, in man, And Anthony Weaver really likes playing man on the outside.
Yep.
So
one more before we take the break here. Number 91, my guy, Levante David, who will soon be added to this fine Pro Football Hall of Fame T-shirt that I bought in Canton, Ohio.
Really? You think he's going to be? You think he's going to be a Hall of Famer?
Sure.
I do not.
Yeah, someday.
Well, yeah. I mean, when we're 70, he's got a shot.
I doesn't mind. As long as he makes it, there will be a T-shirt.
He's just Mr. Consistent.
He is.
I mean, he's almost 35 years old. He's still top quarter of the league against the run as a pass rusher, in coverage. He just does it all. He just doesn't do anything great. That's what I think will preclude him from being in that Hall of Fame discussion, is that we only saw great in spots. He was great in 22. He was great in the Super Bowl year. He was great really early in his career. But then he almost always seemed to drop off the next year. But even his drop-off was still a really good starter in this league.
Yes.
There's just no bad. So he's the exact opposite of Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey's good is unbelievable. One of the best corners I've ever seen. His bad is absolutely putrid. Levante David's good is really good, and his bad is not that bad.
Just steady.
Yeah, he's the loyal, long-time, hard-working, punch the clock, bring your lunch pail. Okay, I'm out of things. That guy.
That he is. And he's a Super Bowl champion. Levante David of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 91 on the Sportsocracy NFL Top 100. We will continue the list after the top of the hour here on ESPN Asheville.
So many people here are getting real
and we're clear.
Relief from
10-4.
QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I would recommend QC to anybody.
The work that QC Kinetics did paid off exponentially.
It brought me back to an effective age of almost in my 20s and 30s.
QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge regenerative medicine, natural biologics from your own body, precision treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue in your aching joints, with no meds, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime.
I got a very quick resolution to my pain.
It is a all-natural therapy. You're using you to fix you.
I got my life back. I got my smile back. And best of all, I got my laugh back.
Don't live with that pain anymore. And don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Learn more about regenerative options from the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Call now for your...
You got some time. We'll be back at 02.
828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Attention drivers. Ingalls Markets is hiring experienced CDLA holders for our local fleet. As an Ingalls driver, you start earning paid time off on day one. Our local drivers earn an average salary of $75,000 a year, but that's not all. You'll also enjoy great benefits like medical, dental, and vision insurance, plus a 401k with company matching and weekly pay. If you have a year or more of driving experience, apply online today at inglescareers.com. That's inglescareers.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, running into the afternoon, and impacts from Debbie mostly to the east of us. Of course, if the track changes or moves a little bit further toward the west, we could see more wet weather, so expect some changes to the forecast. But for now, Hit miss showers, thunderstorms this afternoon, 85. Tonight, mainly cloudy, down into the upper 60s. Tomorrow, some hit miss storms once again. Otherwise, sunshine and clouds up near 90 degrees. A few showers and thunderstorms on Thursday, 85. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by the solar experts at Renew Energy Solutions.
If you've recently lost power, you're at the mercy of your utility. Become energy independent with solar plus battery backup from the experts at Renew Energy Solutions. Call 828-203-2934 or visit renewenergysolutions.com.
It is Ingalls Tools for Schools, broadcasting live here at the Ingalls on Smoky Park Highway. And we are looking for your donations until 7 o'clock tonight. We are taking markers, of course, pencils, backpacks, paper, you name it, and we will take that donation. And our good friends at Elbow Charities will make sure that it gets into the hands of the families that need that help as everybody heads back to school later in the month. Want to give a big shout out to Kellogg's, a great sponsor this year. Tony the Tiger, he is live on location with us until 1 o'clock today. Come on by and take a pic with him. He would love to see you. Ingalls on Smoky Park Highway.
When you're ready to go back in the day, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it. Allow me to introduce myself.
Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new
Is this the last commercial before the ID?
You get real unlimited data all for just 20.
Yes. And then there's a queue to call after the ID. So we still got 40 seconds.
Okay.
Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher-end auto-pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fairview, WMFX Waynesville, an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Now your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our iHeartRadio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword WIN to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's WIN to 200-200.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Ingalls studio fired up here. I'm Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, back with us from Mullet Manor here on a Power Rankings Tuesday.
I'm going to miss doing the show from Mullet Manor.
I bet you will.
I've only got what, a handful more shows.
Yeah, only.
We're off Thursday. We're preempted by the Braves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gone next week.
Yep, next week's going to be a vacation week, and then back at it, ready and raring to go for the run-up of the football season.
I'll bet you I squeeze one more week out of this when I get back. But I'm just a bet. If I were a betting man.
Nobody's shocked by that at all. We're fixing the NFL's top 100 list. The players voted. They took the tabulations. And then, of course, when it all shook out, it went, hey, wait a minute. This looks like that tote board at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame where 172 people said Creed needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
It's more than that.
That's not happening.
It was more than that. It was in the 500s. You know it. Don't lie. I got a picture of it. I've already verified this.
Nope. Not going to happen. There were some mistakes made, as Jalen Johnson said. He did make this list, by the way.
He did.
Jalen Johnson of the Bears, who yesterday was a little teed off that he got left off of the list as an All-Pro in this past season.
And when I put this out on social media, I'm going to be really sure to tag him. So
yes,
if anybody feels the urge to do Yeoman's work and just poke Jalen Johnson until he goes, thank you for putting me where I belong on this list.
Yes, he is on the list.
That would be kind.
Indeed. We left off at number 91. It was Levante David of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers Hall of Famer. He's not an NFL Hall of Famer. I'm just wishful thinking, for the guys that I like. He'll definitely be a Ring of Honor guy. At number 90.
This is a guy the NFL list got wrong, but it's because they had him too high. It's Keenan Allen.
Where did they have him on the
51
on the NFL list?
He was 51 overall. That's okay. We're being crazy. Crazy. I'll tell you a fun stat about Keenan Allen.
Okay.
He's been in the league since 2013.
Mm-hmm.
He's been graded in 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of PFF grade, he's never finished lower than 28th among 100. I think the least we've ever had was 109 graded. That's the good. Here's the bad.
Okay. All right.
He's only finished in the top 10 3 times. And Keenan Allen's one of those guys that I'm telling you, we're going to do this when he winds up in Hall of Fame times was he ever a top 5 receiver in the league? And the answer is no. Keenan Allen is the receiver version of Levante David. Ton of catches, ton of yards. Great slot receiver. One of the best slot receivers of all time. But he's not in that class. The NFL list, would you like to hear the receivers they had him in front of?
Yes.
In order. Stephon Diggs.
Okay, you can stop.
I'm not even close to done. Jalen Waddle, Brandon Ayuk, Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper, Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, Devontae Smith, Terry McLaurin.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those guys would you actually, honest to God, take him in front of?
Probably 3 or 4.
Terry McLaurin and Devontae Smith. That would be my answer.
That's it? That's your answer?
And it's also the only 2 guys that didn't make this list that are not in front of Keenan Allen.
Mm-hmm. Waddle?
I would take Jalen Waddle over Keenan Allen a 1,000,000% of the time.
Not looking for the future. Just looking
I'm talking about for right now. He's a better receiver than Keenan Allen. If I had to win a game right now. Keenan Allen's also 34 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean.
He's not that old. He's 32.
He's 32. God, he came in the league young.
Yeah.
My God, I didn't realize he was that young. Still, 32 and 34 in receiver years, we're picking nits here.
Yeah, there ain't much difference there. He is old, and I get bringing him down the list because of the age. It's one of those things that when I look at it, I go, who would I rather have? Would I rather have the hotshot young guy, or do I want the veteran who I know I can rely on? And if I'm building a franchise for the future, obviously I'm taking the hotshot young guy. For right now, though, that's why I like him where he's at in Chicago.
Oh, I love the fit in Chicago.
I think he's beautiful. I think he's beautiful for a guy like Caleb Williams.
Well, and you have 2 guys that can beat you over the top, and then you have Mr. Consistent Cole Kmet. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, the receivers are great. If you're a Bears fan, do yourself a favor. Don't go pull up that comparison of all the rookie quarterbacks and what their statistical stat line looks like, because Caleb Williams will make you want to throw yourself in the creek.
Yeah. I mean, if their offense at the Hall of Fame game told us anything, they are going to murder the middle of the field.
They were really good over the middle.
They were. And I just kept looking, whoever the tight end was that was out there, going, yeah, I could totally see Cole Kmet eating on that play. They're going to kill over the middle if you leave it open, which the second stringers for the Houston Texans did.
Be wary of falling into that trap. We've all done it at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did this in the preseason. Mm-hmm. That and $1 will get you a Coke.
Sure. Number 89.
Trey McBride. You know I love this kid coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Then last year he started slow because they had Zach Ertz on the roster. And then about week 5, Jonathan Gannon went, what exactly are we doing right now? Because Zach Ertz couldn't beat me in a foot race. And this kid's like really, really good. So he should be playing, and Zach Ertz should be playing elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Cast into the pit of misery. Trey McBride's a dog.
And I was going to say, shocker of shockers, when they started feeding him the ball more, good things started to happen.
The offense got better. I mean, look, it was just a better team.
Dude had a 76.4 catch rate last year.
Yeah. Look, he had 81 catches, 825 yards, and he didn't play 100 snaps in the first 5 weeks combined. Do you realize how unheard of that is for a tight end?
Mm-hmm.
That means he was on pace for a 100-catch, 1,000-yard year. Go back and look at the greats of our in terms of tight ends and tell me how many of them have ever done that.
Right. Number 88.
Devin Witherspoon. I want you to do on this because I know you want to.
I'm not going to do on this.
Really?
He's a good young player.
I think he's one of the best young corners in the league.
Here's my do part of this. I'm not convinced that he's better than Reek Woolen.
Okay, explain.
He's only been a year, right?
Did I need more than that? Let me ask you a question. How many times did you have to put a penny in a light socket before you went, "Ow, geez, oh, hurts bad"?
At least 4.
That explains a lot. I don't need that much.
Okay.
Reek is a really good receiver. I'll go ahead and tell you, I did not have him in the top 100.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a shot at him. He is really good at what he does. There is a reason that a lot of NFL teams don't like 6'4", 205 corners. Because in terms of shifty outside receivers, you can get your lunchbox eaten if you're not careful. Mm-hmm. And that happened to him at times last year. Devin Witherspoon can do everything. He's one of the best blitzing corners in the league. He just absolutely locks up guys in the slot. And he is such a modern-day NFL football player. Because think about how many great receivers we have that play predominantly out of the slot. That's the guy Devin Witherspoon's going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, he would have been put on the outside, and I don't know that he would have been as good as he is. But in today's NFL, I won't be shocked if teams start trying to find guys like this. They start finding the blitzing corner that is really physical against the run and is still really sticky in coverage. And they just go, you know what? We can teach you. We can teach you other things. We can hide some of your deficiencies. Devin Witherspoon doesn't have those.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys that you draft with that archetype, they're going to. That's what makes him so special. I don't have to hide him. I actually use him to hide other guys. And I really thought you were going to gristle at him.
At number 87 from the New York Giants, Andrew Thomas.
I was stunned he wasn't on this list. And look, I get it. Last year didn't go his way. Last year didn't go anybody's way for the New York Football Giants. Mm-hmm. That line is awful. Have you heard the latest about Evan Neal?
No.
That he's not going to get his spot back even when he's healthy. Now he's the 6th offensive lineman because Jermaine Illuminor has straight up beaten him out, and they don't want to put him at guard because they feel good with John Runyon and Greg Van Roten. That's a damning indictment over a guy that you took 7th overall.
No doubt.
And Andrew Thomas has just been – he's been the steady force. Look, he was one of the best offensive linemen in the league 2 years ago. Last year, he was the only passable lineman on this team. And this is one of those things with linemen, you got to be careful. Grades can go down when I don't have to go at you. When I've got Evan Neal, the turnstile on the right side, you don't get the chance to win all that much. Because I'm not funneling defenses at you because I don't have to. I'll run them up the middle. I'll run them off the right side. And then Andrew Thomas just sits over here. He got hurt in the first game of the year, and then he came back, and I thought he was really good at the end. To me, he's still an elite tackle in this league. He's just on a really god-awful team.
Mm-hmm. Number 86, Jair Alexander.
This is one of the madder players I was that he wasn't in the top 100. And look, I get he's got injury issues. I get he's kind of a head case. In terms of when he's on the field, if you got to all your fingers before on one hand before you got to the number of guys that were better on the field than Jair Alexander, you're either a Bears fan, of which our time in Ohio taught me, man, the Bears hate the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like the Lions and they don't like the Vikings. They unmitigatingly hate the Packers. I peed on a lot of Green Bay Packer urinal cakes. I don't know where they came from. I don't know who put them in there. I don't know if they had an apparatus that put them in there or if they were out here touching public potties. I don't know.
It was just the little plastic thing. So,
yeah, but there was a full urinal cake under them. You can't get them in there without removing something. Because there's a big hockey puck underneath there. You had to get it to sit down in there somehow. These are the things Jeremy thinks about.
I don't want to know.
I don't either, but I can't help the way my brain works. If
that was, I see. I'm imagining that's the way the bathrooms are at Soldier Field.
It could be. I don't dispute any of that.
So I'm thinking, they have these printed up, and Chicago fans just came down and threw them in there.
It's more fun for me to think that somebody actually special ordered them. We're going to the Hall of Fame and we want to prove a point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jair Alexander's, he is a phenomenal cover corner. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid over the course of his career, he'll never get I don't know that he'll ever get the national accolade that he deserves because he has been so inconsistent and so in and out of the lineup. He's missed so many games. He's already 27 years old. But, man, he's good. In coverage, he's one of the stickiest players in the NFL. And if you ever really want to treat yourself to a statistical anomaly, Google his head-to-head matchups with the best receivers in the NFL. Just go look at what he's done to guys when he's fully healthy.
Mm-hmm. He's a scary dude. Another scary dude coming up at number 85. We'll take a quick break. We'll continue the top 100 after this.
Pain from arthritis is awful. Bone on bone.
Clear.
So have you gotten to the point yet of you realizing that this is going to take two shows?
Deal with that pain, and I'm not talking about
100%.
Okay. I was just making sure because I was looking at the numbers going, I don't think I can talk that fast.
QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge treatments.
No, not unless you want to start bunching them together.
I don't.
Groups of 5 and talking about just one of them.
I do not.
From arthritis or injury.
I didn't think you did.
Surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC Kinetics can use advanced regenerative medicine to treat the pain.
Hey, this takes us all the way to the off day without having to really think about anything else, and I got about 10 jillion pictures to edit. So
QC Kinetics are ready to help you get your life back.
I'll take the
regenerative restorative cellular treatments for your achy.
Yes, sir. I will too. I was going to ring my bell, but Mark stole it.
Bill 828-333-9517.
Excuse me?
828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
Yeah, Mark stole my bell.
Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other.
Why did he steal your
learn
bell?
About your family, lifestyle.
No, because somebody stole his bell. And then he left. He apparently went looking for a bell, and he walked by our window and saw mine sitting here. I found this in the PEK studio. It's like, yeah, no shit, it's mine.
When you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Boobs.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
ESPN Asheville, we're broadcasting live from the Ingalls on Smoky Park Highway. It is the Ingalls Tools for Schools. We'd love to see you come on by and make a donation. We're going to be out here until 7 o'clock tonight collecting all kinds of school supplies like the backpacks, paper, glue sticks, index cards, pencils, scissors, you name it, we will take it. Also, a cash donation is appreciated as well. And Kellogg's, one of our great sponsors this year, they're out here. And Tony the Tiger is live in person till 1 o'clock. We'd love to see you. Come on by, say hello, take a picture with Tony. Ingalls Tools for Schools, Smoky Park Highway.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy. Let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is the ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and no breaking news just yet. No news out of the NFL. We're keeping an eye on all of it, the Twitter feeds and the breaking news feeds and such. See if Brandon AIYUK gets traded today. That was the big story in the NFL today, is that, I guess they're finally admitting that they want, or they are open to trading him as long as they get the right amount of compensation. We're fixing the top 100 list. NFL players screwed it up, so the Sportsocracy has to sweep in and clean up their mess. Number 85 on our top 100, Khalil Mack.
I struggled to figure out where to put him. Did you have that same problem, or was that a me thing?
I did, because my head wants to say, oh, he's like top 50 guy. But is he really? Not anymore. There was a time. But I don't feel like I just don't feel like LA has been great for him the last couple of years.
It has and it hasn't. I think he was miscast with Brandon Staley badly. I also struggle with Khalil Mack and really dinging him too much, because he was productive at times in a way that Joey Bosa wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with a team that has two really fantastic players. Khalil Mack was special at times. He was really good last year. Except the bad is not Khalil Mack. You would see games where you went, that's the guy I'm talking about. That's the guy I remember. But they didn't happen as often as you would want. Now, conversely, Joey Bosa looked like a shell of himself.
Right.
So where does the problem lie?
Right. Is the problem in the scheme that they were running? Is the problem that, I don't know, you have to be the guy to be the guy? I'm not sure what to make of that. A 32-year-old guy who racked up 17 sacks, it's hard to talk smack about that.
Yes. And it is hard to talk smack about that.
But when your team is expected to be so good and you're so bad, that rubs off on you.
Well, you also have to – you got to put that 17 sacks in a box. He had 6 of them against the Raiders. Had 6 in one game, which is special until you realize he only had 11 the rest of the year. And 8 of those came in 4 games. There were long stretches. He had 3 full games, another 2 full games, another 3 full games. He didn't just not register sacks. He wasn't even putting up hurries. That's a half of the year. But the good's still so good that I really struggled with where exactly does he fit. And this was the best I had.
Yeah.
I don't think he can be any lower than this. I also think the NFL list that had him, I can't remember how high he was, but I remember thinking it was absolutely bananas. 29. He's not the 29th best player in this league.
Right.
He's just not. He's too inconsistent to be that good.
I mean, maybe historically speaking, he might be.
I think he's still really good. I just don't know that he's elite.
Mm-hmm. After Khalil Mack, newcomer, number 84, Jalen Carter. I know how good this guy can be. I know how good I think he can be. Has he proved it yet, though?
There is still a little bit of projection in this. Look, the good of Jalen Carter last year was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that he played 600 snaps. Very few of them against the run. And it honestly at times felt like they were hiding him. Because they do have Jordan Davis. And you can throw that big body out there, and you had Fletcher Cox, and well, you don't have any of that anymore. So I really feel like the good and the burst plays, that was enough to get him on this list to me. Now the question is, can you make that star turn in year 2? And I kind of hedge my bets because I do think he can do that, but I'm not positive that he will. I think having Vic Fangio helps. I also don't know exactly how he fits into that scheme.
Number 83, Trey Smith, guard from Kansas City.
I'll go ahead and do 82 as well because you want to talk about the ultimate hedge? This is the ultimate hedge.
That would be Joe Thuney.
Hey, the 2 guards from the Kansas City Chiefs. Yep, I know they're elite and they're as good as we have in terms of interior linemen in this league. I don't know if they're as good because of each other. I don't know. I know those 2 and Zach Martin are as good as we have at guard in this league. Fact or fiction?
Mm-hmm. Fact.
I have 2 more guards on this list that it was hard for me to grade because I don't know that they would be as good in Kansas City as these 2 are, but I'm not sure either of these 2 would be as good in their situations as they are. There is part of this that you just look at Kansas City and they know exactly what they want. Kansas City has drafting down to an art of the rest of the league does not value these guys for whatever reason. We can get them on great values and just plug them in and turn them into Pro Bowlers.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Thuney, you paid. Trey Smith, you drafted. And Tank, I don't know if you remember when he was coming out, there was one mulleted scout that was real high on Trey Smith.
Oh, yeah.
That was this dude right here.
Mm-hmm. And the bill's coming due here pretty soon.
It is.
For the offensive line. And that's going to be really something to watch. Creed gets paid. Trey gets paid. And then what? Because that comes in the next 2 years with Thuney, who's already making $27 million.
Kansas City's masterful with the cap, and how you keep all these guys paid, I have absolutely no idea.
Right. That's the price that you pay, though, for drafting so well.
Timothy O'Toole in our
make these calls.
Timothy O'Toole in our YouTube comments asked if Mike Onwenu made the list. He didn't, but he was on the watch list. I'm glad you said that because I would have completely forgotten to bring him up because he was one of a handful of names that I deleted. Because I didn't think about the fact, man, it would be good if I could show Tank how I showed my work. So I deleted like 7 names, and that's the first one I've seen where I went, hey, that was one of them, because I don't really remember who the others were.
Yep. All right, let's finish out this last batch of 10 here with Deebo Samuel at number 81.
This is a largely health thing, but there is also, I know he is a jack of all trades. He's the Swiss Army knife of the NFL because he can play running back, he can play slot receiver. I just don't know if he can consistently beat you over the top the way that elite receivers do. I just have to give him the benefit of the doubt because with the ball in his hands, he's practically as good as we have in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you can't tell the story of him without the injuries.
You can't.
And how many games he's missed and how many light snap games he's had. But he's still really good. He's still really special.
Mm-hmm. I always get a kick out of the injury predictor models. Chance of injury in 2024, 86.6%. I think you can chalk that up to 100%.
They had him at 86.6%.
Yes, because the right side of his body is broken. Or I guess it's not broken. It's not actively broken. It just likes to break.
The NFL list had him at 30, and I'm not going to lie. I saw that, and I felt blood come out of my ears immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I looked down at 40 and saw Devontae Adams and went, this is why we don't take anything you say seriously.
Yep.
And then Jamar Chase at 45, and at that point, I had to turn my computer screen off and go drink tequila out of the bottle just to make sure that memory didn't get set in my brain, and I would forget it at some point.
He is fun to watch. He is a lightning rod, with all of the things that he can do. The problem is that he never stays healthy. And you have to ding him for that. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN.
You're clear.
Yeehaw. All right, we'll do weird here, and then...
East of us, of course, if the track changes or moves a little bit further toward the west, we could see more wet weather, so expect some changes.
All right, we've gotten to...
For now, hit and miss showers, thunderstorms
80?
this afternoon, 85. Tonight, mainly cloudy down in...
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, some hit and miss storms.
All right, so we got a long segment.
Near 90 degrees. A few showers and thunderstorms on Thursday, 85. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is
how many
sponsored
do we need
by
to get
Bank
done
of
here?
America.
Math and I are not.
I mean, we do another 10 here.
We do another 10. That leaves us 20 for the last hour.
Bank of America.
Yes.
Okay.
Business to learn more. Bank of America.
And we could do 10 at the top, 10 at the bottom, and then out top 50 tomorrow.
Boom.
Check out the
Boom.
Throwback 101.1.
This is how we do it.
Allow me.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone in crisis. For 24/7 confidential support, just call, text, or chat 988.
Tuesday, August the 6th, it's Tools for Schools at the Ingalls on Smoky Park Highway. Join iHeartRadio Asheville, Ingalls, and Eblen Charities from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. We'll be collecting school supplies to make sure every child in Western North Carolina has the tools that they need to succeed. Come by and donate while you're there. You can also register for a chance to win $2,600 in Ingalls gift cards. For a complete list of supplies needed, go to eblencharities.org. And we'll see you at the Ingalls on Smoky Park Highway Tuesday, August 6th for Tools for Schools.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Ford Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, and there's Asheville. Weird Asheville.
It's ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy live in the Ingalls studio. Don't forget that you can go over and help out the kids of Western North Carolina, Buncombe County, be able to go back to school with all of the tools that they need, the Tools for Schools supply drive going on over at the Smoky Park Highway, Ingalls, until 7 o'clock tonight. Our very own Flostradamus, Jeremy Greene, will be down there following the program today. You'll be down there. You've got until 4 to get down there, right?
I do, and I'll be bringing the Parks Ford mobile studio with me.
Excellent.
I need to find a place to bathe the Parks Ford mobile studio because she don't fit in car washes, and I don't have a car wash in my neighborhood. So where could a man take the Parks Ford mobile studio to get a bath?
I'm thinking the only manual car wash that I know of anymore is over here on Lester Highway.
I've seen two. There's only one problem. They have a clearance because they have that little arm that has the hose on it, and that arm is at a shorter height than the top of the truck is.
Gotcha. Well, that is a bug. Hey, maybe you just have to drive it back to Parks Ford. They'll wash it for you.
Yes. It's because they're great people.
It'd be a good reason to go down there and see JD. He's an awesome guy.
JW,
excuse me. Sorry. JD. JD Drew. He's back for some reason in my head. The NFL Top 100 here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. We're up to number 80 from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What, are you going to tell your weird story, or did you just play the sounder and then?
Oh hell! I didn't.
Did you have a stroke at some point? Like, what is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. I did the promo, and you interrupted me. We got talking about the car wash, and I went, you know what? That's good. We're done with the weird stuff.
Calling people by the wrong name for getting whole segments.
Now look, the calling people by a wrong name. You got. I need a break for that because that's all the time. There's nothing has changed about that. I screw up everybody's name.
Yeah.
I called Mike McDaniel, Mike McCormick. I call Jalen Johnson, Jawan Johnson, or Jawan Jennings. There's too much to keep track of in this brain.
Hey, do a crossword puzzle, bruh, because the aging here is not going well.
That's not going to help.
It's going to be like doing a show with Joe Biden in about 6 months.
Yeah. Hey, I never saw this headline before. A whale steals the show at the Olympics. They were in the middle of the Olympic surfing contest, which, if you're not familiar, they haven't obviously been doing that in France, because I don't know if there's anywhere that you can surf around France. I know that they have beaches, but I'm not sure they have giant waves. But they do have giant waves down in Tahiti, where they have been doing the surfing competitions. U.S. taking home the gold in the women's tournament yesterday. However, during the women's competition, a humpback whale took the opportunity while, the cameras weren't focused on either of the surfers at the moment doing anything because they were waiting on a wave to come around. Giant humpback whale just came out of nowhere, not too far away from the athletes. I believe that would definitely make sure that I'd use the bathroom in the ocean. I've never been around a giant creature like that in the ocean. I'm pretty sure that would make me never want to go back into the ocean again. Are you terrified of giant fishies?
Not in the ocean. Not in the least. I was actually thinking the irony is that you said you have never been near a giant mammal like that was in the ocean.
No,
when at one time in your life you were a giant mammal like that in the ocean.
Precisely.
Before PhD weight loss.
Yes, I am shocked that none of them ever, tried to mate with me while I was in there.
I would be more afraid of people with large sticks trying to push you back into the water.
It's like apparently I also make a very ugly whale as well as an ugly human being. So
see, it takes all the fun out of it for me when you do it to yourself. All right, that's
been doing it since I was 7 years old. That's my deflection model.
That's called a defense mechanism.
That's right.
My story is also about the sporting event, which shall not be named by me, and their inability to feed the athletes. British swimmer Adam Peaty, which is a really funny name for a swimmer, is apparently really unhappy about the quality of the food in the Olympic Village. Mm-hmm. What are two foods that you should never run out of when you're feeding athletes?
Ooh,
think lean protein here.
Yeah, chicken.
Chicken is one.
There's a lot of chicken. And I'm gonna go with pasta. We got to do the carbo loads.
Pasta would be up there pretty high as well, but not the lean protein. That's not a lean protein.
Well, no, that's not a they're both lean proteins. Okay. Yeah, I said pork?
Fish and eggs.
Eggs.
The first day they ran out of grilled chicken. The second day they ran out of eggs. And now they have worms in the fish.
Oh, gross.
We're struggling quite a bit. But that's not even really the worst part. Apparently, part of the supply chain issues here have been the fact that they're really pushing plant-based food items. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Trying to do that to Olympic athletes to reduce your carbon footprint, probably something you should have told them, I don't know, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Because athletes at this level, it's kind of important. They need to keep the old nutrition in line with what they're used to. If you brought me a tofurkey after I worked my entire life to get to the Olympics, we would have a problem. Mm-hmm. Frankly, if you brought me a tofurkey at any point, we would have a problem.
Right.
I'm going to need you to bring me some moo cow. Right. Meow, meow.
So the question for me becomes, so they ran out of this stuff. Did they not replenish?
They replenished the chicken, but it was a huge problem for a few days.
Okay. I mean, I could see how that'd be a problem. But it's also not like you're in a remote part of the world. I feel like that should be pretty at your fingertips. In France, I would just get more chicken. I would just get more.
Well, I mean, that's supply chain. You're using a lot of it, so it's not as readily available. Hey, you remember when we ran out of chicken wings and they became like $888 a dozen?
I do remember that.
Yeah, it wasn't because the next town over had them. Just because nobody had them because the supply chain was boo-booed.
So all of France is like out of eggs now.
Apparently, it is putting a great strain on the supply chain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It sounds like an excuse to me.
Weird, the French making an excuse. That's never happened before.
No.
You can send that one to at ESPN Draft Nerd. Frankly, if you could find something I said that was wrong, I'll happily apologize for it.
Who's shocked that the times got hard and they just gave up?
I mean, the thing I'm the most worried about is it's not even the events that you're so worried about watching on NBC. How are you going to fuel up for the night moves in Olympic Village, which we know is just a huge part of the Olympics?
It is.
At least for one pole vaulter. Okay, I'm done now. Okay. Was all the jokes I wrote for that segment, and I got them all in. Let's go.
Nice. At number 80 in our Sportsocracy NFL Top 100, fixing the mistakes that the players made in their list, number 80,
Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think he is divinely talented. He is also maddeningly inconsistent. Did you have him in your top 100?
I did.
Where?
I had him. Let me check real quick. Minkah Fitzpatrick was at 72.
So you're in the same ballpark roughly that I am.
Yeah. His high was really high, and now I feel like he's on a kind of a little bit of a backslide. Still a top 100 player, as you said, supremely talented. But I'm really not sure what to expect year to year.
The thing about him is that he has been completely elite in 3 of the 6 years he's been in the league. He was completely pedestrian in the 03.
Mm-hmm.
I still think he's really good, though. I think he belongs on this list.
He does.
I just don't think I can put him any higher than this.
No.
He ran into the problem of how many players at your own position are better than you. Not more talented than you, are better than you.
Mm-hmm. And you had, 4 on that list?
Oh, let's see. How many did I have on that list? I have too many windows open, Tank. That's... I have 4 safeties that legitimately I don't see any way that their teams, if offered Minkah straight up for the guy they have, would go, yeah, let's do that.
Mm-hmm. Number 79, Charvarius Ward.
I don't understand why he takes so much shade. When we put out the top 13 corners, there were a lot of people that were really angry that insert player here. Denzel Ward was a pretty common one, or Marshawn Lattimore was a pretty common one, that they weren't ahead of him. And I'm not sure, outside of individual team bias, I'm not sure how you get there. I mean, the 2 years he's been in San Francisco, I could make the argument he's been the best corner in the league. I'm not saying he's the best player.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of once you start taking in scheme fit and what you're asked to do, those things all have to play in. And he's been an absolute dog.
Mm-hmm. Put up massive numbers this past year. And he's climbing the rankings. As opposed to the last guy that we just talked about. Charvarius is on I don't want to call it a meteoric rise. I mean, he has another year like he had this year. Then, yeah, he will definitely get all of the recognition.
Well, I just feel like people got locked into what he was in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a solid starter for the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a completely different scheme. So he goes to San Francisco, and now this is who he is. Now, if he went somewhere else, that might change. I don't know. The thing is that I don't have to find out for at least 2 more years. So where he sits right now, this is where he belongs.
Yep. At number 78 from the New York Football Jets.
First of many. Garrett Wilson.
Now, he was left off the NFL list, wasn't he?
No.
Or they just had him super low?
They didn't have him. They had him about where I did. He was 72 on the NFL list.
Oh, okay.
I thought you would make a comment about me having my own guy low. I couldn't have him any higher.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of sheer talent, absolutely. What he was able to do last year with me and 2 retired plumbers playing quarterback is special. I just want to see him have that total breakout year. I see the talent. There's no questioning the talent. First of all, his bones are made of rubber, that is the most malleable human being I have ever seen in my life.
He does bend in some interesting ways.
Yeah, ways that give Jeremy the angina, because I see him get tackled in practice, and I go, oh, Elizabeth, this is a big one. Oh, don't take me down. My only receiver I trust away. And he's got 178 catches in 2 years with Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, and 3 snaps of Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is I'm waiting to see the year where he breaks out and throws up 12 touchdowns and has the 1,100 yards and the 100 catches. I'm hoping quarterback play will do that, and next year we'll be talking about him way higher than he is right here.
I mean, he should. He should be able to do that with good quarterback play.
I can also confirm he is one of the best dudes on the planet Earth.
He should do all that.
I heard a story about him while we were at the Hall of Fame induction that made me feel really happy that he plays for my team.
Which was?
Oh, basically no kid goes to any camp that he's at or any event or anything that he or Sauce Gardner show up at. No kid leaves those without an autograph and a picture, and that made me feel real warm and fuzzy on the inside.
Nice.
Because New York can wear those dudes down.
Mm-hmm.
And they're about the time where you would start seeing those things, and apparently Sauce and Garrett Wilson are just getting better.
Number 77, Dre Greenlaw.
He was hard for me to rank solely because of the injury. But, I mean, in terms of the player that he is, he has to be on this list to me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have him on the list?
He was one of the ones that, as I was cleaning up my list, I went, I erred in judgment. He was on the should have been list. I just didn't. I didn't have time nor the inclination to go back and figure out where I should put him in. This sounds about right, though.
He's one of those guys that I don't necessarily think he would be that good anywhere else. He fits this scheme perfectly. And I feel like sometimes people get lost in, like, you do a list like this and it has to be the 100 most talented guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the most talented guy is not always the most productive. Because you slide in a guy like Dre Greenlaw or another linebacker that he plays with that you're going to have to wait a long time to hear his name.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you they would be elite anywhere else. They're elite here. They're elite in this system. And there is no system in the NFL more than that 49er defense. Whew, boy, it makes linebackers look good. There are 4 linebackers on this list that play in that system, and 2 more just missed.
Mm-hmm.
It's rather impressive when there were only 10 on the list to begin with.
Yep. Number 76 is Trey Hendrickson.
Just perpetually, he's perpetually underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we do a list like this, it makes me angry that he's not higher. And I'm not going to lie to you, it made me angry when I saw him 77 on the NFL list, and I'll be damned if I didn't put him at 76. I couldn't put him any higher. And I got to the end, and I went, okay, I got to move something around. And I couldn't find one.
Mm-hmm.
He is that lunch pail, never get the credit that he deserves player because he's not flashy in any way. He doesn't tend to take over games, but he also never has games where you go, what in the world was that?
Right. He's a solid performer.
There are not many edge rushers in this league that I would take over Trey Hendrickson.
And I would love to know where he ranks in the last 4 years in sacks. Because he had 17.5, 8, 14, and 13.5. In the last 4 years in the NFL, I would have to imagine that's got to be up there.
I can. All right, take a stab at it. This is since 2022.
I'm gonna say he'll be 8.
You're too low by a lot.
By a lot? Really? Is he 4?
He's 3.
Wow.
He has 53. Myles Garrett has 58. TJ Watt has 62 in 6 less games than both of them. TJ Watt's not of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Bosa in only 52 games is 5, and Hassan Reddick is 4.
And here we are, Trey Hendrickson coming in at number 76 on the Sportsocracy NFL Top 100. We're fixing the list. We'll continue it after the top of the hour here on ESPN Asheville.
Dr. Merrill and the team at Asheville Smile.
Yeah, we're clear.
A significant milestone. 5 years of serving this community with exceptional dental care and heartfelt smiles. They are excited to continue their mission of providing compassionate dental care in a warm and welcoming environment. Their commitment to your oral health and satisfaction remains unwavering, with continuing education and training so they are able to provide multiple services to patients. Here's to many more years of providing world-class dental care with a hometown heart. Check them out at AshevilleSmiles.com.
From the team behind Atlanta Monster and Up and Vanished comes a brand new investigative true crime podcast, Flashpoint. Listen as they explore the homegrown terrorism threat through the lens of the Atlanta Olympic bombing and its aftermath.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Listen to Flashpoint on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Flashpoint to start listening.
It's the Marketer's Report. Today, Erica Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer of Genentech, explains how audio is an ideal way for brands to tell their stories.
Everyone is listening somewhere, somehow. I think that there's something deep in all of us that enjoys listening to and telling stories. When I think about what we do here at Genentech, we do a lot to actually tell the broader story of our company and the legacy that we stand upon. 45 years marketing more than 40 medicines over that time period. And we celebrate that in story form, in audio format. It's a great way for people to learn more about what we offer and to be educated in an easy and convenient way.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company. iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
WWNC is Western North Carolina's news and information station.
On your radio and on your phone with the free iHeartRadio app.
You'll have the smartest smartphone in town.
News Radio 570 WWNC.
Attention drivers, Ingalls Markets is hiring experienced CDLA holders for our local fleet. As an Ingalls driver, you start earning paid time off on day 1. Our local drivers earn an average salary of $75,000 a year, but that's not all. You'll also enjoy great benefits like medical, dental, and vision insurance, plus a 401k with company matching and weekly pay. If you have a year or more of driving experience, apply online today at inglescareers.com. That's inglescareers.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
At Ingalls, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, running into the afternoon, and impacts from Debbie mostly to the east of us. Of course, if the track changes or moves a little bit further toward the west, we could see more wet weather, so expect some changes to the forecast. But for now, hit and miss showers, thunderstorms this afternoon, 85. Tonight, mainly cloudy, down into the upper 60s. Tomorrow, some hit and miss storms once again, otherwise sunshine and clouds up near 90 degrees. A few showers and thunderstorms on Thursday, 85. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half. 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals utilize their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
It is Ingles Tools for Schools, broadcasting live here at the Ingles on Smoky Park Highway. And we are looking for your donations until 7 o'clock tonight. We are taking markers, of course, pencils, backpacks, paper, you name it, and we will take that donation. And our good friends at Elbland Charities will make sure that it gets into the hands of the families that need that help as everybody heads back to school later in the month. Want to give a big shout out to Kellogg's, a great sponsor this year. Tony the Tiger, he is live on location with us until 1 o'clock today. Come on by and take a pic with him. He would love to see you. Ingles on Smoky Park Highway.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
ESPN Asheville is WP.
Here we go.
CJ Fairview, WMFX Waynesville, an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Live from the Ingles studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We are the Sportsocracy, and we're heard live on the iHeart Radio app. You can take us with you everywhere you go. You can watch us as well on the YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that way you can join us in the chat. You got to subscribe to the channel to get into the chat. All your thoughts on the NFL's top 100. We're fixing it today on a Power Rankings Tuesday.
And I'm sure most of you have figured out that this is going to take 2 days. We didn't realize that, but
we should have.
We should have.
We do this time after time sometimes with the power rankings of just the 32 teams where we go, oh man, we wasted too much time talking about these guys. And now we're shocked that with 100 entries that we're having to push this down a little bit. I don't think you should be surprised at that.
It's okay. We're almost to the good times. We have but one more tank Friday show.
Yeah.
Before that thing that Jeremy loves so much makes its triumphant return. Bangers.
Oh, bangers coming back.
Only bangers
in
coming back
Fridays?
In 2 Fridays. Because we're not here next Friday.
Gotcha.
And then the following Friday, we will have ACC-centric Irish football bangers.
He'll give you all the prop bets for the only game to watch on the opening weekend, which will be his Florida State Seminoles and Georgia Tech.
Hey, we got other things to wager on. Mm-hmm. You got to dig. You got to look real deep. There might be a couple preseason money lines in there.
Mm-hmm.
But they're there.
We're fixing the top 100. The NFL players voted on this, and they released the list last week. They got it wrong, so we had to get it right. Flostradamus We're up to number 75 in the top 100. Number 75 is Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts.
I feel like you are better equipped to explain what happened last year even than I am.
Well, I mean, last year didn't – listen, okay? This guy has all the talent in the world, right? Missed some games last year, but every time he touches the ball, as a defender or someone trying to game plan against him, I would be afraid that he is going to house this thing. When he is on the field, he's the best player that they have.
And there's the problem. When he's on the field.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 years, he's played 21 games.
Yeah.
In 2 years combined, he has 1,600 yards and 11 touchdowns. He set a bar the previous year in 21 where he had 1,800 yards and 18 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're ever going to see that guy again. But if you could see a 17-game version of Jonathan Taylor, he belongs right here. I can't assume that it's going to be any better than that. I don't think he belongs in that tier with the best of the best, but I do think he's the top of the next tier of running backs.
Yes. And still, to me, he's at a point where he still has plenty to prove and enough gas in the tank to do so.
How many running backs in the NFL do you think are better than Jonathan Taylor right now? I know my answer.
I would say Christian's better. Are you saying more talented?
Better
than he is?
I would take them on my team right now ahead of Jonathan Taylor.
I would go Christian, Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs. I think I have 4.
I have 2 more. I have 2 more, but you did the first 4 almost in order.
Okay. Who are the other 2?
You'll have to stick around for the rest of the list to find out.
Look at that. Number 75, Jonathan Taylor. I believe we're going to see better from him this year. Full season, fully healthy offensive line, hopefully. I just don't know. Again, I don't know what he's going to be with the quarterback situation there. Number 74,
T.J. Hawkinson.
Even with the injury, he is top 100 player for you.
I think he is special at his position. Not that he's one of the elite, but I kind of look at him. That's why I put him and Jonathan Taylor right beside each other. I feel like he's the best of that next tier. Now, the injury, I don't love it. He's still on the PUP list, but he is ahead of schedule. And I think there is a possibility that he actually starts the year not on PUP. I've thought that all off season long. And when he's on the field, he just produces. He had 95 catches last year. My big knock on him has always been he doesn't really beat you down the field. The way this team's built now, he doesn't have to. Justin Jefferson does that. Jordan Addison does that. I need you to be the consistent, borderline slot guy of you're going to make teams honor you across the middle of the field, and he does that. Now, the funny thing is I was low on him for years. Now I feel like the industry has gotten low on him, and now I'm higher than all of them are.
Well, it's because he's hurt again. Like, this will be the, third time?
He's missed a lot of time. Missed 2 games last year, missed 7 the year before that, missed 10 the year before that, missed 5 the year before that.
Yep.
4 his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
He does have injury issues. But even with that, I mean, first of all, name me the tight end not named Travis Kelce that doesn't. You're asking these guys to do something that's it's a tall ask.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not going to rail on George Kittle for it, it's hard for me to believe you can rail on T.J. Hawkinson for it.
Okay. Have they missed comparable amounts of games?
George Kittle has missed or been limited in a lot of games. It's not as many as T.J. Hawkinson, but it's
right. It's the only reason that he was left off of my list.
So he wasn't on your list at all.
He was not in my top 100. He
That
was
is surprising
just outside of my top 100.
By comparison, Kittle has missed 1, none, 3, 9, 3, 2, and 1 games in the last 7 years.
Okay.
He doesn't have the big I missed 10 game seasons that Hawkinson does, but he's also played in several games that he probably shouldn't have that make that number look a little better than it is.
Yep. Because he's a dog, and he refuses.
Well, and sometimes you shouldn't refuse. Sometimes you should acquiesce.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. No doubt about it. I do kind of admire that about him, though. At number 73,
Puka Nacua.
I'm kind of shocked you didn't have him higher on this list.
Okay, why?
I mean, I just know that I know how much you like him.
I like him a lot.
And when I saw that he was crazy high on the NFL list, wasn't he like in the 30s on the NFL list?
I know he was above Cooper Kupp, but I can't remember exactly where he landed. He was 33.
Mm-hmm.
That's too high to me.
That's insane.
That's too high to me.
Yes.
And it's not because I don't think he's that valuable of a player. Now we're getting into more of that. All right, so he's that valuable to his team. Would he be that valuable to anybody else? And I don't think he is. I think he fits Sean McVay's offense really, 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 really well. And this gets into the Dre Greenlaw and the Quincy Williams and a lot of guys of you are in the perfect spot. But can I put you above somebody? And I'll use the next receiver on the list. Can I put you above Stephon Diggs, who's been a dog everywhere he's ever been?
No,
I can't.
You cannot.
But because I don't think you're that guy. You're productive like that, which is why you're here. But I don't think I can put you above the elite of the elite talents.
Having him at 33, the NFL list had him ahead of Devontae Adams,
which is insane.
Jamar Chase,
which is insaner.
Stephon Diggs was also the Jalen Waddle, Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper, Garrett Wilson. It's kind of crazy to have him that high this soon. Of course, I think I'm one of those that relies way more on that than anybody else. Of the time matters to me in many cases of how long you've been in this league and who else is at your position. And to me, Puka is really, really good for a guy who's been in the league 1 year. There's no way I could put him above guys that I've seen do it year in and year out.
That's not really so much what it is for me. I don't care about 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Special. I don't care how long it takes. The problem is that I don't think he's athletically special. I think he is Sean McVay insanely technically special.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't have that above a guy like Jamar Chase.
Right. Number 72, let's go back to an offensive lineman.
Quentin Nelson.
Another one of those, or one of the tools that's going to lead Jonathan Taylor to a rebound season.
This is, and for me, this is one of those people get too locked into PFF grades. He was the best guard in the NFL for 2 years. He was the best over the course of 4 years. He had the highest average grade. And then the last couple of years, he just hasn't been as special. The line around him absolutely sucks. And it's been a constant flux. It's been constantly moving around. There's been a lot of young guys. That ain't on him. Mm-hmm. He can't help the four that are playing around him. He just tries to do his best with what he's got. Now, I think where Indianapolis is now, they're in a better space with the five guys on the offensive line. I feel like they're locked in, and I actually think that could be one of the better lines in the league. The funny thing about this is the guy I have at 72 and the guy I have at 75 are basically in lockstep with each other. If one of them goes up next year, the other will too.
Makes a lot of sense. Number 71.
Christian Darrisaw.
We just saw him get paid.
Mm-hmm.
I remember our discussion about that. You didn't really have a problem with him getting paid the way he did.
I do not. I have no problem with it. And frankly, the dumbest thing you will hear me say about the NFL list is that Harrison Smith made it and Christian Darrisaw didn't. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That's like going to McDonald's and getting a McChicken but not getting a thing of fries. You left off the best part of this. I'm not saying the other's bad. It's just you buried the lead here.
And does that go to popularity? Does that go to position scarcity? This always comes into my mind of how you got there.
It's really hard to get the respect you deserve at a nondescript position, which for the average fan, and I mean, I hate to say this, but for players around the league that are watching their team and the team they're going up against, it is hard for somebody like Christian Darrisaw to get the respect he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that it's not there. He's been one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL the last 2 years. And I think he's only getting better. He's just now 25. He just turned 25 years old. This will be his 4th year in the league. I think he is going to be special. And for my business card next year at the Senior Bowl, his name is featured very prominently. Because I tried to tell you this when he came out in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I was hammered on him.
That you were. Number 71, Christian Darrisaw. We'll continue the NFL Top 100 after this on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
In this week's Marketers Report.
Clear.
Thank you.
Executive Vice President, Worldwide Marketing at Warner Brothers Discovery weighs in on regional audio marketing and the movies.
Everything that we are doing is incredibly data-driven. We are getting signals in every single day about how specific audiences are performing. So although we're marketing at a very broad scale, and that does include specific local markets, that's really the beauty of iHeart's network. You're not serving the same message to a consumer in Nashville necessarily that you may be in New York. You have the ability to be very specific and very personalized, but at a tremendous scale.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all, from national to local, every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company, iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
From the team behind Atlanta Monster and Up and Vanished comes a brand new investigative true crime podcast, Flashpoint. Listen as they explore the homegrown terrorism threat through the lens of the Atlanta Olympic bombing and its aftermath.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Listen to Flashpoint on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Flashpoint to start listening.
Compassionate care starts with respected and valued employees. Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation offers careers with purpose and opportunities for advancement for those looking for meaningful employment or anyone searching for a leading short-term rehabilitation and long-term care facility for loved ones. Sandstone prides itself on unmatched staff and resident satisfaction. We set the standard for excellence in employment and compassionate care. Discover the Sandstone Way online at sanstonehealth.com.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey buddy, you wanna go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and
come back with a breaking news sounder. We have the receiver news we have been waiting for.
And mountaingraphicsavl.com, your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
It is ESPN Asheville. It's the breaking news you've all been waiting for. Flostradamus.
It is the receiver news we have all been waiting all day to hear. The Baltimore Ravens have signed Russell Gage. It's not Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, shoot. You turd.
Yes.
You got me all excited for a second. I was thinking, hell yeah, Brandon Ayuk's going to the Baltimore Ravens. Let's go.
Actively, we have trade negotiations. The New England Patriots, Cleveland Browns, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are actively negotiating with the San Francisco 49ers right now, which is funny because they were out this morning.
I was going to say, the Steelers are new to this little equation because the word had been that they were a little interested, but they weren't pursuing heavily.
I don't think they're legit in, but I will use that phrase that I hate so much.
My sources tell me there is a fourth team that no one is talking about.
Ooh. Which is the New York Football Jets.
I don't know who it is.
Okay.
I don't know. I will tell you this much, though. It did not come from one of my Jet guys. So,
okay.
If it had, I would have said, there might be my team, but I don't think it is.
Yep. All right. We'll continue to keep an eye on the news. Apparently, Russell Gage is still making money in this league somehow.
Good for him. He is the Pauly Shore of the NFL. People keep writing you checks to do stuff. God bless you. You just keep going out there doing stuff.
At number 70 on the top 100.
I paid U.S. dollars to see Pauly Shore more recently than I'm proud of. Christian Wilkins.
Going over to the Las Vegas Raiders. We've talked about how great that's going to be for that defensive line.
Well, we think it is. And I'm projecting. I think Christian Wilkins has turned a corner. The fear would be, he did do all this in the contract year. Had his best year in a contract year. You know how I feel about those.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's who he is. I really do. I think it's who he is.
You think he's the 9-sack-a-year guy rather than the 2-sack-a-year guy that he had been?
I do. Okay. I do. I think having Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson and all the pieces they have in Las Vegas allows him to really focus on generating that pass rush up the middle. Mm-hmm. It helps when you have a guy that can extend the tackle out, and that precludes those fallback blocks and things that got him over the first handful of years he had the league, because he just really didn't have those guys. They were young. You know, Jalen Phillips was a young guy. And you didn't have Bradley Chubb. So I saw him with 2 legit pass rushers become a 3rd legit pass rusher. And now I fully believe he's with 2 that are better than anything he had in Miami.
Mm-hmm. Coaching better? Because Graham's still the defensive coordinator there, right?
I can't say the coaching's better. I mean, he went from Vic Fangio. So, I mean, Vic Fangio is one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. So it's hard for me to say that Patrick Graham is going to be an improvement over that. I don't think it's a huge step back.
Mm-hmm. At number 69.
I was trying to say that in a way that wasn't taking a shot at Patrick Graham, and I think I succeeded in that. If I didn't mean to. So
there were no shots fired. I didn't sense any.
69 and 68 need to be said together because they're the same dude. Montez Sweat and Daniil Hunter.
How are they the same guy?
Man, you're really good at rushing passers. Man, you're really bad against the run. Just horrifically bad at times against the run. The good thing for both of you is you have both found places that you don't have to be good against the run. I'm not sure you're not about to see the best year of both of their careers. I could not differentiate them, so I couldn't separate them. That was one of my rules. When I got to a player at the same position and I had an impasse of which team would be upset if they traded for each other. If I got to I don't think anybody's sad, but I don't think anybody's happy, cool, you two are going right beside each other. And that was one of only a handful of those that I had.
Right.
Sweat's younger, and I think may have another step. I also think you saw the best of him last year, which that's not a shot. If he comes out and plays 17 games like he did for the Bears last year, that defense is going to be real good.
Oh, yeah.
And now you have Daniil Hunter for the first time in his NFL life, he has an actual honest-to-God pass rusher on the other side that will spend more than 15 minutes on a field with him.
I think he was my personal favorite part of the Commanders' star-studded defensive line that they had. And when he showed up in Chicago last year and just immediately started to sack quarterbacks, I felt like while it wasn't bad in Washington, maybe something could open up here. Maybe tapping into I'm the star on this defensive line. And he'll kind of grow into his own, because I've always felt like he is the guy that will be a every year double-digit sack guy. We just never saw it until last year.
Well, there are certain guys, and I mean, it has happened over the years, certain guys do better outside of a situational role. And he was as good, if not better, in Chicago than he had been in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody watching on the YouTube chat or on the YouTube stream almost got to see Jeremy fall on the floor. I am reasonably sure my chair just broke on camera.
Oh, nice. Nice. Daniil Hunter is that double-digit sack guy every year. Every year that he's healthy, anyway. And comes in at number 68. Number 67, Bobby Wagner.
You talk about just consistent year in and year out. I don't know that he has – I don't know that he has elite linebacker left in him in Washington. I know what he did last year, and I know how talented he still is. I'm not sure at his age he can still be the absolute catalyst of a defense. I'm also not sure that he has to. That defense, looking at it in terms of just sheer talent, they have talent on that defense.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Frankie Louvu is a combo that I really like. I will tell you one of my biggest takeaways from the initial depth charts that are flowing out today.
Mm-hmm.
If you had Dante Fowler playing 4-3 outside linebacker, I didn't have that on my NFL bingo card.
You missed that one?
I would have missed that one.
Yeah. Okay. Do you just not think his body will hold up to it, or
Fowler?
Yeah, no. I'm talking about Wagner.
Because
you said I don't know how much longer I can see him doing this.
No. What I didn't say that at all. I said I'm not sure I can see him doing it in Washington. As a 34-year-old guy with a defense that's being put together, there's no continuity here. I couldn't even tell you the 3 corners that are going to start on this team. And my fear with that is that I'm afraid that looks more like early 2020s in Seattle, where he did have one really good year. He had the bounce back year in 2022, but there were a couple really bumpy rides. I'm afraid that might be closer to what you see in Washington. But even with that, he belongs on this list. I split the difference. I don't think he can be, in this system, I don't think he can be the best linebacker in football, which he was in Seattle a couple years ago.
Okay.
I also don't see a path that he's worse than 10th.
So you're saying what? The tackle opportunities won't be there for him?
It's not that. It's just the what he does is not really conducive to a defense that is figuring things out.
Okay. At number 66, Jesse Bates, one of your faves.
Oh, I think he's an absolute D-O-double-G dog. I think he's as good as we have at safety in this league. There's just athletically, he's not the freak of nature that you get out of the few safeties that are in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
He's my 4th highest rated safety in the NFL. He's ahead of a guy that he's markedly less athletic than in Minkah Fitzpatrick. The other 3 are not of this earth. It's not a shot. It's just a fact.
Just facts. Number 65, he'll be happy, Jalen Johnson.
He belonged on this list.
Yes, he did.
I mean, he was the number 1 rated corner in the league last year. But, I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't point out, I don't think anybody could have me higher than this. Because last year was an outlier. Now, it's an outlier that should continue at least for this year. I'm not telling you he's going to be the best corner in the league. He was straight up bad at times the 3 years prior. But so were the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
And now you start to feel like maybe Matt Eberflus's defense is taking hold, and this is the guy you're going to get. I would also be remiss if I didn't point out, I really like this kid coming out of college, and he's only 25 years old. So there could still be really good football ahead for him. Maybe he turned a corner. Maybe it took 4 years for him to turn a corner. And putting pieces around him is what he needed. I do think he belonged in the top 100, and it was an oversight by the NFL to not have him there.
Absolutely. And you have him higher on your top 100 than I had him on mine. I had him at 70. So at 65, Jalen Johnson finally getting the respect. Some of the respect, anyway, that he deserves. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM. 880 AM and 1400. We're going to get you all the way to 50 before the end of the show. We'll be right back.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN.
Skipping it.
All right, running into the afternoon.
Grimes.
Impacts from Debbie mostly to the east of us. Of course, if the track
Skipping
changes or moves a little bit further toward the west, we could see more wet weather. So expect some changes to the forecast. But for now, hit and miss showers, thunderstorms this afternoon, 85. Tonight, mainly cloudy down into
You got to hit the button or I can't hear
Tomorrow,
you.
some hit and miss storms.
I mean, I saw your mouth move.
I hit the button. I must have hit the wrong button. I must have hit the speaker instead of the talk back. My problem. I said we're going to skip Grimes.
Yes.
And we'll get all this 15 in here.
Yeah.
With eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
ESPN Asheville, we're broadcasting live from the Ingalls on Smoky Park Highway. It is the Ingalls Tools for Schools. Would love to see you come on by and make a donation. We're going to be out here until 7 o'clock tonight collecting all kinds of school supplies like the backpacks, paper, glue sticks, index cards, pencils, scissors, you name it, we will take it. Also, a cash donation is appreciated as well. And Kellogg's, one of our great sponsors this year, they're out here. And Tony the Tiger is live in person till 1 o'clock. We'd love to see you. Come on by, say hello, take a picture with Tony. Ingalls Tools for Schools, Smoky Park Highway.
iHeartRadio Olympics Update.
Team USA can win at least 4 medals in track and field in Paris today, including the women's 200 meters. American 100-meter champ Noah Lyles is preparing for his semifinal heat in the men's 200.
Be able to say we're going to come for the rest of the rounds and be able to dominate and say this is my event.
The U.S. men's basketball team will face Brazil this afternoon in the Olympic quarterfinals.
For NBC's live coverage from Paris, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
Wake up with football every morning and listen to my new podcast, NFL Daily with Greg Rosenthal. 5 days a week, you get all the latest news, the best analysis delivered by the time you get your coffee. This show hits on every single game, every single week, but I can't do it alone, so I'm bringing in all the big guns from NFL media. Subscribe today, and you'll immediately be smarter and funnier than your friends. Listen to NFL Daily with Greg Rosenthal on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search NFL Daily to start listening.
Attention drivers. Ingalls Markets is hiring experienced CDLA holders for our local fleet. As an Ingalls driver, you start earning paid time off on day one. Our local drivers earn an average salary of $75,000. But that's not all. You'll also enjoy great benefits like medical, dental, and vision insurance, plus a 401k with company matching and weekly pay. If you have a year or more of driving experience, apply online today at inglescareers.com. That's inglescareers.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You are a regular nuclear meltdown. You better cool off.
Back in the Sportsocracy on a Power Rankings Tuesday, fixing the NFL Top 100. The players screwed it up, so we're setting the record straight here with the actual list of the Top 100. This will be released out on the social medias, will it not, Jeremy?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you'll be able to not only follow along with the podcast and such, but we'll have this all, printed out for you so you can really kind of digest what's been going on here with the top 100. We're going to work you up to the top 50, and then tomorrow's show will be the top 50 players in the NFL. At number 64, one spot ahead of Jalen Johnson, Kyren Williams, running back from the Los Angeles Rams.
I don't understand how people don't see it with him. Did you say, I've heard all the Blake Corum nonsense because Kyren Williams had a foot thing over the offseason. There's a video on their social media right now of literally Sean McVay running up and hugging Kyren Williams and saying, God, I missed you this summer. That should tell you everything you need to know about who is the running back with L.A. Blake Corum will get work. Kyren Williams is the dude.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're dead. The power just went out.
Awesome.
And everything's frozen. So I have no way to do anything. Let me see if I can.
I mean, they can still hear you on the YouTube stream, just so you know.
Blake Corum will get work. Kyron Williams is the dude.
Dead.
Interesting. Shoot.
And dead.
Can't do anything.
Well, that's not good.
What is that?
You can't do anything.
No. Cannot.
Make them laugh. Make them laugh.
Hey!
Jason Trump said, don't kill the YouTube stream. This is gold. It's Tank trying to not say obscenities and me going, well, I thought it was me. I didn't quite know how it was. I didn't know how it was me, but because I put a point on that sentence and everything went dead silent. And I'm looking at my computer going, well, it all still works. I'm all good. So what did you do?
It definitely. Can you hear me? It definitely doesn't work.
Tay asked if we're still live. We are. Radio is not because the power just went out.
Okay. We're dead. The power just went out. Awesome. Everything's frozen.
And now I'm hearing the playback of all those things.
Okay. This is just lovely.
The YouTube stream, just so you know. Blake Corum will get work. Kyron Williams is the dude.
Dead. Jeremy made a point so good that he killed radio. Just dead. But you're confident this isn't going out on radio?
No, it is not. I mean, I hope not.
Yep, that's not quite good enough for me.
I mean, my board's off, but I got nothing. I got no external monitor.
Sweet.
I have switched it over to ESPN satellite, but there's nothing playing.
Sweet. Well, I'm going to kill the stream because I have to get to that remote anyway. So,
yeah, I mean, I'll throw on ESPN. Well, I mean, like I said, I've already switched it, but nothing's playing. But it'll go to it when it comes back, and we'll just pick it up where we left off yesterday or today.
Yep. Sounds like a winner to me.
Sorry, boys.
we were getting ready to do 14 players real fast.
Yeah. And now that ain't happening.
Hey, we may have just taken this into a 3-day show. What up?
Right.
All right, I got to get out of here.
All right, man.
I still got to take a shower and all that good stuff.
Oh, y'all have a good one.
Chaz said this is what happens when we leave you to do electrical stuff. I can actually attest this has nothing to do with things.
No,
this could be as stupid as there's no gas in the generator.
No, that's the thing that's got the engineer befuzzled, is because he came down the hallway, and when the power actually did go out, opened up the door. I asked him, I said, "Was that you? Did you get electrocuted or something?" He laughed and said, "No." And then he went, "Well, motherfucker, the generator's on. Why the hell don't we have power?"
Well,
so this is way bigger than us.
Yeah, just throwing this out there. You might not want to swear when we don't actually know what's happening. Just throwing that out.
That's good. All right, man.
All right. Well, I will see all of you tomorrow. If you're in the Asheville area, come find me at the Ingalls on Smoky Park Highway for Tools for Schools.
Indeed.
And we will see you tomorrow.